It's time for episode 103 of The Crisis Show here on Google Hangouts, on YouTube, and wherever else you have this link around the world. Good afternoon from New York. My name is Rich Klein of Rich Klein Crisis Management and founder and host of The Crisis Show, now in its fourth year. Today, in this abbreviated episode of The Crisis Show, I want to talk a little bit about public opinion and reputation. And that is because this morning, CNN reported that Donald Trump and Macy's have parted ways. Macy's, one of the world's largest retailers, severed ties with Donald Trump, the New York City real estate developer, who is also running for president of the United States. Now, all this began a few weeks ago when Trump announced his candidacy for president, and in that speech, made what many believe, and I believe as well, were bigoted statements about Mexican immigrants. This is not the first time Trump has shot off his mouth, but this time it really matters because he is a candidate. And so soon after he made those remarks about Mexican immigrants, NBC and Univision, which televised his Miss USA and Miss Universe pageant, they decided they're not going to televise those pageants anymore, and they cut ties with him. What did Trump do? He filed a lawsuit, shut off his mouth. Big surprise there. But this morning, one of the world's largest retailers, Macy's, which sells a lot of Donald Trump's merchandise. I'm not sure if it's exclusive or not, but they sell a lot of the Trump brand stuff like cologne and menswear, ties, and so forth. They severed ties with him in a very strongly worded statement that was issued this morning and reported by CNN. So if you're interested in the full statement, check out CNN for that statement. I'm going to copy it and paste it to my Crisis Show and Rich Klein Crisis Management social media channels because I thought it was really well said. In fact, I sent a message to Macy's today asking them for the full statement. One of the things as a company or an organization you need to do when you're taking a strong stand on something, whether it's a crisis or not, is if you're going to send a statement to the media, you should also send it to your social media channels. That's where people are getting their news. So I hope Macy's does that. They did it, as I said, they wrote a great statement. It was right on point. It pretty much hit the nail on the head in terms of explaining why they took their position of severing ties with Trump. Of course, Trump will probably has already fired off his mouth about Macy's. I think he has. I don't remember exactly what he said. And he'll probably file a lawsuit as well. Big deal. So, but what was really interesting about this story is that Macy's had been under pressure for a long time to sever ties with Trump. But when Trump made these statements in his candidacy announcement, a petition that was ongoing had reached 700,000 signatures, a petition to ask Macy's to disassociate itself with Donald Trump. I think that petition finally got the attention of the executives at Macy's. So it's a real example of taking public opinion seriously. If you're a CEO or other executive in a company, in a law firm, a financial service firm, if you're a president of a university, when these issues come up, remember that public opinion matters. Don't minimize public opinion, especially today with the power of social media. News travels fast, information travels fast. So if your organization was under attack, let's say 15 years ago, you could get away with not saying anything for a very long time. But today, because of the way that information moves so quickly, you can't bury your head in the sand. So it's very important as a company or an organization to really pay close attention to what's being said about your company, particularly thinking about your business ties. If you have some controversial business ties, you want to think about what could happen if that person you're doing business with really goes off the deep end, as Trump did this time. I think in the case of Macy's and NBC, they tolerated him for many years, but this was really over the edge. This went above and beyond what was acceptable behavior. But my advice to you out there is don't wait till one of your business associates or employees, for that matter, get to that level. You need to make sure that you have policies in place and values in place inside your company that make it almost impossible to do business with people like that, to hire people like that who hold those views. Because let me tell you from my experience, when you let those situations fester, whether it's inside your one of your company offices, or it's someone you're doing business with who is not an employee, it doesn't matter. They're still tied to your company in some way. Either way, you need to have very strong policies and values that speak out against that kind of behavior. And what Macys did today was a great step in taking a very strong stand for that company. If I was a Macys employee today, I'd be very proud of the company that I worked for. And remember, your employees are your ambassadors to your brand. And so that's a really good thing they did for a lot of reasons, not just to the outside world, but to your internal audiences as well. That is a really big deal to stand up for something that's just wrong. So kudos to Macys for taking that stand. And of course, it'll be very interesting to see going forward if other companies that have business ties with Trump follow suit. Of course, Trump has business connections around the world, golf courses and towers and other properties. And so the pressure's on them now to take a similar stance, and particularly those companies in the United States. I think the companies that do business with him outside the United States, they can get away with saying, well, we're not involved in American politics and so forth. But here in the States, when you make a comment like that, when you're running for president of the United States, there's going to be an outcry when you make comments like that. So that's my show for today. Thank you for listening. It's 4th of July coming up here in the United States. I want to wish everyone out there a very happy and safe 4th of July weekend. And as I said on my Facebook page today, we are a great country because of our diversity. And I just want to remind people of that on this 4th of July in particular, with so much going on in the world with divisiveness and hate. This is a time to remind all of us that what makes the United States a great nation is its diversity. And so those of you out there watching this, it's just a gentle reminder to share that thought, if you will. Anyway, if you want to tweet about anything I said, please use #TheCrisisShow. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.